And that was the fucking news.
But it does mean that you are entitled to a beautiful new blue passport.
8 o'clock in the morning, I'll have fish and a rice cake. At 10 o'clock, I'll have fish. At 12 o'clock, I'll have fish and a rice cake.
500 quid on the nose on Sad Ken.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Brew Boys. Today, we shall be discussing teachers and their subjects. So, prepare yourselves, get a nice warm cup of Yorkshire tea, and let's get into it.
Very good. And the first one is, I can't even read that. Substitute teachers.
Oh, substitute
Right,
teachers.
so I've already got one for this. D.
D. Why?
Okay.
Yeah, substitute teachers, I've had a lot of good experiences. They generally tend to be quite relaxed. Obviously, you'll get some, because sometimes they're a bit hit or miss. But I generally do say they're rather good.
Sometimes if they're nice, they'll let you sit where you want. So then sometimes they can provide a valuable respite and a break from a teacher you really hate. Like sometimes if you have a test, I'm sure we can all agree on this one. If you have a test and then you stick your head through that door and you see the substitute teacher, it is just the best feeling.
Oh, that geography lesson.
That geography lesson, Sims.
Started cheering.
So I put what should we go for? Because we've had Sims' bad experience, but
It's probably just the one-off thing.
Oh, I'm saying that just on the whole, it's an S. Because most of the time, you just get to misspell with your mates. And generally, it's a jolly old time.
Yeah.
Most of the time you just they don't really pay too much attention to what you're up to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that just qualifies it for A, just because it's hit or miss.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
It wouldn't be bloody lovely because you don't learn much most of the time.
Yeah. Next one, of which I don't think any of us have.
I had a racist teacher once. Yep.
how racist?
Straight up just said the N-word, so, you know.
Clearly, S tier.
S tier. If we had Louis on here, that's what you would choose.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah.
Just for our reputation, let's put it in D, is it? That's the lowest one?
Yes. I don't know why, but it is. George, you did make it, so I do blame you.
Okay, blame me, fine. Previously, my interjection grew rather loquacious, which is why I'll attempt to omit any superfluous material disseminated in the following message. We watched 40 Towers. See, Sims, this is 40 Towers. Oh yes, Jack, this is so funny. I know, you should watch it more. Yeah, you're right.
RE teachers. And it's RS is RE.
Yeah, it's religious studies or religious.
I see.
Oh, yeah, I have a really good RE teacher. I think with RE, it depends on whether you've got a teacher who's actually interested in what they're teaching.
I would put D because I've just had some horrible experiences. Well, just RE. I hate the subject for a start.
That's not really the teacher, though, is it?
But it's the ones that force you to try and get involved and
Sims, if no teachers forced you to try and get involved, you would be absolutely more nowhere than you already are.
Touche. I mean, it's kind of like a documentary, really, isn't it? Like an interesting documentary. You watch a bit of it and you think, oh yeah, this is kind of interesting, but you don't really pay much attention. That's kind of how RE is for me.
yeah, like if an RE teacher understands that you don't want to be there and is chill about it, then they're probably A.
I'd say B because George made this tier list weird. It's B's in the middle.
What's PSHE?
It's basically citizenship.
So we had a citizenship teacher who, actually, she got us all to tell stories, tell each other stories. I used to recount my experiences wheeling down a hill on a chair and everything.
Oh yeah, that was wicked. She was wicked.
Yet again with RE, it depends on what teachers you get.
Yes, it really does.
Usually they're quite personable.
But there's some bad topics in citizenship that are just really awkward if you don't get a good teacher.
On to the next one.
Yeah, well, George, what do you think of media studies? Media? Well, I haven't actually done media studies ever. I don't know. I've got a few mates who have done it, but I haven't really heard much about the teacher. No, we're gonna need that.
Right, now we're on to the music teacher.
D.
D. Infinite D. It's not one of those subjects where you can force them to enjoy it, like my teacher tried to. I have vivid memories of trembling in that classroom with my fingers shaking on the keyboard as the teacher turns around and he glares at me and he says, "You boy, play." The whole class stared at me as I had to botch my way through the worst performance of God knows what you ever listened to in your life.
I'd have to disagree with you on that one, Jack.
No, you're wrong, George, because our teacher was a psychopath.
I'm going to say something blasphemous. I didn't mind him that much.
Right, well, that's because you had such long fingers, Angelo. You can play 5 instruments at the same time.
My iPad storage was happy when he left. Fucking GarageBand taking up like 40 gigabytes.
He opened my planner and read through every single thing that was bad about it
Yeah.
to the entire class.
Like, when he complimented me, it made my day. I've never complimented him until that one test. It was great.
Speaking of music, here's a musical interlude.
We are the Brits, we drink beer, listening to Pint over in the pub. And we are the Brits and the Queen's English is all that the way we speak. Pop our ways to pop our way, that everything proper should be done. 'Cause we are the Brits, everything's proper in now, we are kicking them. Pop our ways to pop our way, that everything proper should be done. 'Cause we are the Brits, everything's proper in now, we are kicking them. Hey, we are the Brits, we drink beer, listening to Bite over in the pub. Hey, we are the Brits and the Queen's English is all that we will speak. Hey, we are the Brits, we drink beer and listen to some bar too, because we think that contrapuntal melodies will help us impart more bollocks. Hey, we are the Brits, surrounded by a pericontinental sea, which we truly own, it is all ours, because we are populated. Hey, we are the Brits, we drink beer, listening to Bite over in the pub. Hey, we are the Brits and the Queen's English is all that we will speak. Hey, we are the Brits, we drink beer and listen to some bar too, because we think that we are the Brits and the Queen's English is that weapon. Hey, we are the Brits, surrounded by a pericontinental sea, we truly own, it is all ours, because we that weapon. Hey, we are the Brits, we drink beer and listen to over in the pub. Hey, we are the Brits and the Queen's English is all that we will speak. Bring out your meals, king. Pop our ways to pop our way, that everything proper should be done. We are the Brits, everything's proper in down your meals, kingdom.
Right, back to the video.
Art teachers.
From my experience of art teachers, I put D.
Place your bets now! Buy! Oh, sell! Just bet! Betting ends!
But I know that they get better in year 10 and 11.
You are a fool.
See, now I know you, Angelo and Jack, you have a bad experience with art because you haven't done your work, like
What
at
do
all.
you know I haven't done my work. It's not that I haven't done it, it's simply that it's not done.
Not done.
Not done.
Not very much. But it is
Yes, but that
overwhelming.
is art.
It's unfair, I would say.
We can blame the teacher for it because although she's a great teacher, very kind, very supportive, I get away with way too much, which means that I don't bother to do like a 3/4 of what I'm meant to be doing.
However, there is also that other teacher.
I like the other. I was sitting me next to. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know.
I mean, my teacher's very nice, but it's just because the work is so immoderate. I don't know. No, immoderate. It's just, there's so much work, you kind of don't tend to like your teacher just nagging you all the time, you know?
Alright, because of the varying of it.
Yeah.
Spanish teacher, George, you're going to have to fill us in for this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, the Spanish teacher, the one that I had a crush on in year 8, yeah. I'd have to say that's an S.
Right, we're trying to exclude looks here, George.
It wasn't looks, it was personality too. I judge people solely off of their personality. And because she was quite pulchritudinous as well, I'd say absolute S. Well, she did end up leaving me, so that would be a reason for putting her in D, but apart from that...
What was this teacher as a teacher?
Hablas español?
C. See, I learned a lot. No, I've always just been far too distracted in Spanish class, alright?
I wonder what the distraction was.
But then when that Spanish teacher left, I got a new Spanish teacher, but he was gay, and you know, I'm not gay, so.
What is the title of this video? Teacher trial.
Okay. No. I'm rating how good they are. Okay. Well, my new Spanish teacher he's quite nice, to be fair. I'd say A. He's quite nice. I don't pay any attention, but he's quite nice.
Drama teacher.
Oui.
That's French, Sims.
Right, so does anyone else take GCSE drama? Because that's going to be a very important part of this.
No, because it's a dumb subject.
Right, so I have to say A for a drama teacher.
If you bet B, you are a winner. Understanding!
Yeah.
Well, I've had some GCSE mates who take drama though, and they always say she is the absolute worst. The drama teacher in my school just always brags about being a GCSE examinator, and it gets on people's nerves.
You're bragging about being a teacher in general?
No, a GCSE examinator.
You're bragging about just sitting around?
Yeah.
Ruining kids' dreams?
Yeah, from what I've heard.
I think Angela and I's criticisms of the drama teachers are mostly because of our hatred for the subject. Remember the plays we had, the plays we had to be the mirror, Angela?
You have to come in on your days off as well. But the teachers are alright. They're chilled.
Film studies. Do any of us actually have film studies?
What you got? Some of my mates take film studies and they haven't told me anything about the teacher. I do actually have a form tutor who does film studies, I think.
Oh!
He's not really the greatest guy ever. He's very monotone, very dull.
When he's teaching film studies, though, maybe he speaks like this normally, but when it's film studies, he gets excited and passionate.
Oh, I find that hard to believe, Jack.
Oh.
You haven't met the geezer.
So, what are we putting it in then?
Probably C. He's not that bad.
Baguette moisture.
Hey.
That was awful.
that was pretty dreadful.
There is that one teacher.
There is that one teacher, Will.
The one teacher that all fear.
Whenever we've had a lesson whenever we've done French speaking with this teacher, we've always found a way to fit in the sentence. Je mange un kilo de fromage.
That's my joke.
Yeah, I know.
In my speaking mock exam, I had to think of something on the fly for what I want to eat. And you know what? I looked him in the eye and I said, Je mange un kilo de fromage. To the un-French of our viewers means I eat a kilo of cheese.
I'm sure the teacher does the same.
Cheese eating surrender monkey crisps. Where do they go? What?
And that teacher in question, I had him once in year 9. He'd sneak up behind you and he'd go. You'd think he was about to tell you off, but it's just him clearing his throat. We're moving on to PE teachers.
D.
What about the French teacher?
Oh wait, we didn't actually finish settling French. Where did French go?
Yeah, we haven't actually put the French teacher anyway. You muppet.
B, C, or D for French teachers?
I'll say B because you can get a mixed one, you know.
D.
D.
God, I'll let you two get on with it.
D. Right, Angela, do you want to start?
Yeah.
You can.
You may explain.
That one time in year 8, my eyes, they were so painful. It was hay fever. My eyes were like encrusted with pollen. My nose was completely blocked. I could barely breathe. And I say to him, "Sir, please can I go inside if it gets any worse? Please." He pauses for a couple of seconds and he says, "No!" And then just like a few minutes later, we're doing running. And he says, "Alright, everybody, get on your hands and knees. You can start, Jack. You get in the running position, and please stick your face into the grass first." I could not breathe. My eyes were stinging for the rest of the day, and I've never forgiven him.
It's rather irritating, like watching him tell us to run laps while he, in the frigid cold, whilst he's in a lovely coat, drinking out of a flask.
I hate for all the same reasons as you've mentioned, except, as one may be surprised to find out, none of us are top set PE. Shocking.
Really?
Boys aren't exactly athletes. This man thinks he's training some professional athletes. You don't try while running? Because you just ran half the field? No, not good enough. I do have a question. Do we bring up the yoga?
Ooh, no. Gosh.
History teacher.
He likes to engage with the class.
It was like we were doing Whitechapel. I asked her, would Queen Victoria have had anything done? Like, would she know about this? She said, "Ha ha ha ha! Don't be so silly. The royals were far too above things like this." But I went home and I googled it, and there is actual evidence to say that Queen Victoria was not only aware, but advised the government on how to deal with the Whitechapel crisis.
Later.
We need to rank the history teachers. Should we do it?
That is true, okay.
I will say, my history teacher has always been quite officious, really. He has a history, I suppose, of being officious. I don't know whether that should sway things or not. Maybe B or C, I would say.
Alright.
Alright? Yeah. I'll settle for alright.
Computer science.
Andrew?
So imagine, now I'm in a very heavy accent. I'm trying to explain, not too good with English, trying to explain to you, the CPU is like the brain, but not like the brain.
When I had a computer science teacher, I used to have an Indian one as well, and he would just spend the first 45 minutes explaining things, struggling to work his way around the English language. We didn't do anything in those lessons, and he wondered why we didn't get anything done.
I think we should. He gets them moved up to B, or what else do you reckon?
Yep.
Alright.
Biology teacher.
My biology teacher is the nice science teacher. The chemistry and physics is a different woman. Oh no, God.
We'll get to those. We'll get to those.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Does any of us take business studies?
George. No, I don't take business studies.
George!
George.
I assumed at least someone would take it.
I did tell you that. Yeah, I told you we don't do that in my school.
Well, you know I don't pay attention to anything, so...
Food tech. Oh, I've got some memories of food tech. I think my teacher was remarkably kind to me. I burnt my tomato soup. She just looked over and said, "Why is there smoke coming from your area, Jack? We're making soup."
That's not smoke, it's steam. Steam from the steamed clams.
When we had to make a cake, I just bought one from Morrison's. And she was so chill, I really liked it. Instead of actually making biscuits, this kid he went to Heron's, and he bought like 8 different packets of biscuits, like Digestives, Bourbons.
Yeah, I remember that.
He put them all in a bowl, he mushed them together, put it in the oven, and it actually kind of worked.
I suppose it is the sugar. You can't go wrong with a bit of sugar.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say chilled. If not bloody.
Yeah.
Right, chemistry.
Right.
Oh, he's got some things to say here.
He's actually not too bad. I'm also saying this because, well, he knows my dad. Like, he sees him a lot, so I'm not going to say anything bad about him. Nothing bad to say at all.
He says, oh, look, it's just going to make a really cool explosion. It's going to be really cool. And it's either like the tiniest spark, or he says, oh, didn't work. Please sit back down. Should we go see? Physics teacher.
Well, I have a really good one. Ooh, I have vector.
Vector. I have vector as well.
Yeah, vector is a motion, and it's to do with direction and magnitude. Oh yeah. And let's be honest, Vector, as we all know, he is rather lively and he's very fun.
What I remember most about Mr. Vector was when he pulled out the skateboards.
My physics teacher would just always stand at the front of the class and stare at me and my mate with this look of utter contempt. She had some kind of a grudge against us. We didn't even barely do anything wrong. We just kind of fucked about a bit. I say that lightly.
Glad to see it's maybe not the teacher's fault then.
No, it is the teacher's fault. She hates us even though we're not even that bad. I would say the physics teacher goes in C or D.
I say F. He is the best teacher.
We'll go A, but I don't know if we'll physics.
I've been forced to acquiesce, fine.
Geography teacher.
Even my mother thinks that she's bad.
I mean, even your mother? What kind of credible source is your mother?
What are you on about?
I think geography teachers should be a B or an A. English teachers, 3 words. Mr. Everything English. Mr. Everything English bumps it up incredibly highly.
He is good. Guys, he's great. Guys, without
he overcomplicates things. Pretzel is just too much.
That's what gets you the marks in English.
That's what you need. You need to overcomplicate things.
Most of the time, it's easy enough to work out how to overcomplicate things yourself.
You can't just say it's a door. You have to explain the meaning. The door represents how they are sheltered from the outside world in their own bubble. That's the importance of the door.
Yeah, but you don't need this whole structure to work out how to describe the door. You can just work out how to describe the door yourself. You just did it.
Dare disprotesel, George.
You are a massive hypocrite. You use Peter.
Yeah.
Peter are sublime. They're incredible. They are bliss.
Pretzel on top. I mean, no one can argue otherwise.
I'd like to use this interjection to show you the difference between a pretzel paragraph and a Peter paragraph. This is a pretzel paragraph. Look at the mistakes, look at the crossings out, look at the blemishes. It's not succinct whatsoever despite the planning. And look at this. This is writing of the highest order.
Technique, effect, zoom.
Sorry, but he is just a charlatan, okay? So he doesn't know what he's talking about.
You sit there with Peter That's what you sit with.
Right.
Well, you can't talk.
You don't link back to your question. You don't link back to your thesis. You say a point and no one knows why.
No. You refer to the reader, to the text. You refer. It comes at the end. Peter, R stands for refer.
We refer to the text, right? But at the end, we link it back to our main thesis.
Link it back. The R means. The R means link it back, refer back to your original point. It's about the content.
George, Peter is not good.
The A or B? The maths teachers,
Maths teachers.
I think she's actually really nice. I like her a lot. Maths teachers should be a B.
Oh yeah, I once had an Indian. Well, this was quite recently actually. I had an Indian maths teacher, right?
No comment.
Look, it's important, okay? Well, maybe not. Didn't teach us very well. And then we had a second Indian teacher, and I could have sworn I was seeing two. They were clones, okay?
Okay.
One, because... What?
Are you sure you're not doing a racism here?
No, this isn't racist.
Asians looking identical.
And British people look identical as well. It's not racism at all. But I could have sworn I was seeing two, and she had the exact same disposition. But yeah, that was my maths teacher. I'd say C for me.
We'll stick to B because...
Racism.
We've already proven we're not racist though. Look, we've put the racist teacher in D.
We didn't put an F. It's on the list, I mean.
DT teachers. I'm certain that Mr. Let's call him Mr. DT.
Nice save.
Oh, you've got to put some swaz on it, Gromit. Top things!
But I never really did DT because of lockdown and all that.
Oh, lockdown. Even he admits that lockdown was terrible.
I think it was something like, oh, could you use the machine to make this? And then he said, no. And then he like, okay, that's fine. He said no. And then he went, does anybody have any non-stupid questions? The entire
I don't know, that seems like a base thing.
It's because you're in lockdown, all we did was make mood boards, so I just...
So many mood boards, so many mood boards.
Mr. DT, he comes into our lesson and says to the person who doesn't do any shit in my class, we don't want another Will, do we?
No, but to be fair, Will, you aren't exactly known for doing your work.
One word. Art.
No, we can't defend ourselves here, Jack, move on. Recording over. Well, yeah, that's...
This was an hour and a half recording.
Goodbye.
Now, if you let me do the outro, like, subscribe, do all that. Remember, punch your teacher, all that.
For the sake of tactfulness, we urge you not to do that.
Don't fail your education.
For the sake of good mentorship, we think you should do that.
Good night.
We would like to reiterate the this disclaimer at the start. This is all just for jokes.
All jokes, yeah.
Yeah, all jokes.
Yeah. I never had a crush on my Spanish teacher.
No, you would never.
Cut.
Goodbye, everyone.